Welcome everyone to weekly Tanya class. We're studying chapter 49. In chapter 49 we wrap up quite a deep topic, the concept of tzimtzum, which we spoke about at length for the last 2 or 3 classes. And like I mentioned many times, Tanya is not meant to be an intellectual book. It's not a book that's just pure philosophy for the sake of philosophy. Tanya is a guide, how to serve Hashem, how to get all our parts. When we want to learn how to serve God when it comes to action, we open up a Shulchan Aruch, or Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, that tells us the code of Jewish law, how to do things. But there's also the duties of the heart, what we call, and the duties of the mind. And Tanya is a guide, instructions how to get our mind and heart involved in serving God as well. So we are on the topic of loving God, how to create love. In general, how you create love is by getting to know the person, the object of the love. There's many different shades of love, different kinds of love, and here we're talking about the concept of appreciation, of returning love, and the greatest love, actually, and it's a bit ironic, but the greatest love that we could have towards Hashem is for what we sometimes consider our biggest problem. There was a great chassid. He was a half a chassid. What does that mean? There was a half a chassid. It says that the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Chabad Rebbe, he had a chassid. His name was Rabbi of Parich.
18th century? No, 19th century probably.
19th century, in the beginning of the 19th century. Rabbi of Parich. And it was said of him that the Tzemach Tzedek said, I have 2.5 chassidim. Rabbi Hillel is a half a chassid. Why was he a half a chassid? Because his other half was like a Rebbe.
Oh.
He was
higher than a chassid, or which is higher? Or there's no...
The Rebbe is the master, the chassid is the follower, the student.
Right.
His level of service of Hashem was great, was beyond what a normal person could achieve. He originally was born in a Hasidic family, but not Chabad. His previous path was he was connected to a tzaddik called Rabbi Nachum of Chernobyl, and his original path, he was a very spiritual person from the beginning. It says that when his father took him to his Rebbe as a young child, he pointed to the Rebbe. He didn't know who he was. Who's this man? So they told him he's a grandpa. He said, I see a pillar of fire over his head. As a child, he was able to sense his great. He had very fine skills in spiritual matters and serving Hashem.
What's his name again? Who is this?
Hillel of Parich.
Parich.
It's the name of a town.
In Russia?
Yeah, Russia, Ukraine.
Okay.
He has many beautiful melodies that come from him that are sung to this very day. And his original approach was to break the body, to belittle the body. He said the body is the source of all bad, of all evil.
So to suffer?
So he would break it, fast and the self-imposed sigufim, to torture the body. Like, the Mekubalim used to roll in the snow and different things like that. And it was a certain approach in serving God. The approach was that the body and the soul are in a constant struggle, and in order to strengthen the soul, we have to weaken the body. But things happened, and eventually he made his way to the Alter Rebbe, to the Baal Tanya. He never actually met the Alter Rebbe.
Oh, he didn't?
He heard him. He hid under a bed or under a table or something, but he didn't actually meet him. But he became a follower of his, and his son, the Mitler, and Tzemach Tzedek. And there was actually a certain chassid who brought him close to Chabad. His name was Rabbi Zalman Zezmer. And he told him, this young man, you have a big mistake. The body is glass. It's transparent. It's a lens through which you could see God, godliness. what you have to do to the body, it's true that the body, as we know it, could be an obstacle to serving Hashem. That's right. We all know that. We all know that. We all notice that our body and animal soul, has an agenda of its own.
It gets in the way.
But the solution is not to get rid of it and to belittle it, rather to clean it and wipe it, and then it actually is a lens through which someone could see the greatest levels of godliness. Something that cannot be achieved. The soul alone cannot achieve it. So sometimes we think that our greatest obstacle to serving Hashem, in essence, is our greatest tool, our vehicle, the body that we have. That's why the Baal Shem Tov, in general, was very against belittling the body. This whole approach of fasting and inflicting pain and suffering on the body was very against that. There was a beautiful teaching, a famous teaching that Baal Shem Tov interpreted the mitzvah. It says if you see your enemy's donkey falling under its load, so you would think that you could just leave it alone. The Torah says you must assist your enemy and lift up, take off the load of the donkey. So the Baal Shem Tov interpreted like this. The word for donkey in Hebrew is chamor. It also means materialism. And the Baal Shem Tov explained like this. He says when you see the chamor, when you look and observe your materialism, your body, what do you see in it? You see in it sonacha, an enemy. It hates you. Your soul is striving to go up and your body is striving to go down. So, and what happens if you see your soul, your body falling under its load, which means you see an option of belittling it and breaking it so it shouldn't disturb your soul. Says the Torah, no, you're not allowed to do that. You have to assist it. You have to help it up. Because the body, although it does in its default stage, is an obstacle to serving God. That's only because it's not you didn't work on it enough. You didn't clean it. It does need it does require a process to make it something useful, but it's very useful if only we'll make that process. And that's the concept of iskafia. Iskafia is that we learned about it earlier in the Tanya, that a person, for example, it says that the sages would delay their meal for 1 hour. Not that they wouldn't eat. Not eating is not the ideal. A person doesn't need to eat. His body has to be healthy and strong.
Sure.
Because otherwise he cannot pray and study properly. But they would delay it. They would show the body that it's not in charge. That's the point. Don't break the body. You need the body. The body is very useful. But let the body understand that it's in service of the soul, not the other way around. So that was the teaching that this chassid Reb Zalman taught Reb Hillel. He told him, don't break your body. Your body is an ally. If you just know how to turn it over in the right direction. He used the example of a darkened glass. When a person wants to look at the sun, gaze at the sun, it's dangerous, right? So you need sunglasses. Sunglasses, they seem dark, right? It's blocking the light of the sun. It's not true. It is, because
it's protecting you though at the same time.
The only way you, in your situation, could get in touch with the sun is through this darkened glass. Otherwise, it'll burn you. It'll hurt you. So, in a similar vein, the great levels that a person could get to see God in a whole different way with his body, using his body as that glass, which on the one hand it is lowly, but this lowliness of the body actually has the potential to raise a person to the greatest heights. As we have explained, we'll summarize and we'll go on to the call to action, so to speak, to the more practical side of this very, very difficult and interesting and intriguing concept of tzimtzum, of the way, the method of how Hashem created our world, in particularly speaking of the material, the physical world. So this body could be very helpful, and only through the body could we reach heights that no one else could reach. You know the famous teaching in Pirkei Avot that Rabbi Yaakov says, one moment of tshuva, good deeds in this world is greater than all the life of the Olam Haba, the whole Olam Haba. One physical, one material mitzvah is worth more than everything else, because all the other things, all the spiritual light that souls get to experience in Gan Eden and in the spiritual world is a limited light of God. It's not. You cannot see God and stay an autonomous being. It's what Hashem told Moshe. Man cannot see me and remain alive. And when we're saying remain alive doesn't mean only in a physical, also in a spiritual sense. A person has a soul. His soul is it's a part of God, but it became a creation. And this soul, which believes in God and is connected to God, but has a certain illusion that it's autonomous. And even tzaddikim, in a sense, have this, and all souls when they leave the world, every soul of every Jew is a holy soul, is a tzaddik. Down here, sometimes we don't let the soul shine, so that's why people become the opposite of a tzaddik. But a tzaddik has a certain there's that ego. It's not ego in a negative sense. That you should
A self of some kind.
Self, yes, it's called in Hasidic lingo. That feeling of self, the self-awareness, which I want to be close to God. I am close to God. I want to be closer to God. It's all about God, but it's about you being connected to God, and that means that you're not really accessing the true essence of Hashem. Because if you're really feeling the true essence of Hashem, you cannot feel your essence. Hashem is the true essence of God is that there's nothing besides for Him. It's all Him. So, and when you do mitzvahs, although you don't experience it as much, you don't feel so good about, when I put on this physical tefillin, I'm accomplishing much more than anyone could accomplish in Olam Haba. But I don't feel it. It's like looking, and that's because you're looking at the sun. The materialism is that glass through which you could gaze at the sun. This is the only way you could access the true, the light of the sun, which cannot be seen, generally speaking. No one could gaze at the sun. It's impossible. How could you gaze at the sun? Only through a tzimtzum, through a contraction, or let's take the example of the glass, the darkened glass, the sunglasses. That allows you to gaze at the sun. And let's translate it to the nimshal. You could get in touch with the essence of Hashem only through materialism. So materialism is not your enemy. Materialism is your greatest ally. So we just have to know how to tame it and how to deal with it, but not to belittle it, not to break it. We have to keep our bodies healthy and strong. In order to keep our soul healthy and strong. So, we were learning in chapter 48 about the concept of that God is Mimali Kol Almin. The Zohar says that God is Ein Sof. That's God's description, which is not really a description, but it's just what we know about Hashem is that we don't know nothing about Him. We know that He's endless, He's limitless, and this Ein Sof has two ways of being involved in the world. One is called Mimali Kol Almin. Mimali means it fills. It creates every creature, every single being in the world is individually crafted by Hashem. Every moment. Think about it. It's just an amazing point. Think about the most accomplished CEO, manager of the biggest company, and who's really has he's hands-on. He knows what's happening. Even him has to use helpers, and he's not doing it all by himself. He may be running the plant. Hashem is running this whole world single-handedly himself, and constantly. Every single ant and every single leaf is created by design specifically, and everything that happens to it is all planned by Hashem. Hashem plans the itinerary of every single creature in the world. And so Hashem gives every single creature life. Now, obviously, if Hashem would be giving it life, if a creature knew that and felt the true meaning of godliness, it wouldn't feel as an autonomous being. It wouldn't be itself. It would be something different. It would be a creature which doesn't know that it exists even. So that means that God limits. He puts life into a creature. A very some creatures have a lot of life. Like the sun and the moon. There's one sun and one moon forever. Like angels, they're very great creatures and powerful. They have a lot of energy from Hashem. And you have small creatures, but each one has a set amount. A mallet. I have a cup. I want to fill the cup. Mallet. I want to fill it up. So some cups could fill up an ounce. Some could fill up 7 ounces. Some could fill up more.
Ah, Levi,
Nishma.
you're here? What's up, brother?
Hashem, looking good. That beard.
What, the beard?
Yeah.
How's everything?
Good.
For Simchat Torah, I was here, I bought something, the prayers for $100, and I never had the chance to come in to give Rabbi Zalman. So I can give it to you, you pass it down to him? Okay.
You in a rush?
Yeah, I have somebody there, I would stay with you. But, yeah, I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, please pass it down. Thank you for the prayer. I wanted to make sure I give it to him.
That's funny, actually, yesterday I was in a restaurant in Ocean Ave. I married my sister and brother-in-law. They're going opening a Chabad in Mexico.
Really?
A place called Tulum. It's like near Cancun.
Mm-hmm.
We had a little goodbye party. They're leaving next week. So there's a waiter over there, Israeli from Russian background.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks familiar. He reminds me of someone. I think, who does he remind me of? And I said, it reminds me of Aaron.
Really?
And like your accent.
That's great. Somebody to think
Aaron.
of me is always
Is
is nice. Hopefully only good thoughts,
things.
good
About you, only
memories, good things. Yeah, amen. Hopefully one day I invite you all to a wedding and we'll celebrate.
That's right. We're waiting. Always time.
Yeah. I'll get going.
Right.
I don't want to take your time. Levi, thank you
Take
so
my time.
much. God bless you,
You
your
have
family, your father, and everybody. Only simcha.
Amen.
And then, health for everybody. Please tell him again, thank you for the prayer for Simchat Torah. And then I'll call Rabbi Zalman and tell him the same.
Alright, good.
Thank you, Levi. Take
You
care.
have to start thinking about Hanukkah.
What is it?
You have to do the, we can do the menorah again on Avenue M.
Yeah,
For
Max's
Max, yeah.
memories next month.
Next
So
month,
we
yeah.
have to gather on that date
And then we'll do a
and,
family
and do
also.
something
Yeah.
special. So yeah, keep me posted. Let's go. I'll gather how many people I can. I'm sure Rabbi Zalman has numbers of people.
Yeah.
And you guys, of course, can do set up your thing. And I'm always by your side supporting. You know, the best I can, right? You know
Okay.
that.
Yes.
Okay, brother. Thank you so much.
Take care and all the
I'll
best.
see you soon.
Good news.
Thank you. Amen. Amen.
Happy
amen.
news.
You were talking about the size of the cup or whatever to fill
Yes,
in.
I paused it. It's,
Okay, good.
hit it again. Hit record again.
Oh yeah, it's paused.
Yeah.
The record button? Okay.